Hello and welcome to the 6th episode of Bible FC 24, an RTG edition. As you can see on screen, we sold our wildcard pick, Ericsson, and with the money we bought a John Arne Riise, and we also bought a Jude Bellingham to replace Judith Steinberg. So we have a couple of upgrades there for the team. With regards to Brennan Johnson, for now we've still got him up front, but we will soon switch him out for someone else, which you will see shortly, I believe. But for now, yeah, here's the team on screen. So it's looking stronger week by week. And as we go into our first game of the episode, this is what we came up against. A fairly solid Prem team, again with Haaland up front. I swear we play him every single episode. And it was that man that started to run through and keep running through and keep running through before slipping in James Maddison. I tried to move Golaski, the keeper, and that basically gave them a free goal to take the lead at 1-0. Then after steaming through with Mats Hummels, he got the ball through to Beth Mead and made it 2-0. And then I think shortly after this, I stupidly give the ball away to that man Haaland again. Maddison then into Matoma, saved out to Wrighton to bury it for a 3-0 lead. So it's looking pretty awful at this point. However, we never say die on this team, on this channel, on this episode, in this video. Get my words out as Llorente smashed it in the back of the net to make it 3-1 to give us some hope. However, back to Haaland, back to Matoma, back into Haaland to Wrighton, and she scores her second of the game to make it 4-1. And then the misery continues. Matoma, Wrighton, Matoma, Aouar, and a sweat to Haaland to make it 5-1. And then with Diaby, he runs down the line. He keeps on running. He eventually cuts it back to Haaland, who plays it into Wrighton, who scores another goal. Absolutely destroyed us this match. We're 6-1 down at this point. We're still never say dying. And we're fighting back. So with John Arne Riise down the byline, gets his first assist for the club, squares it to Brennan Johnson, who buries home. And then Wrighton swings it into the box. Riise nods it clear, straight to Ollie Watkins, who goes through on goal. We calmly round the keeper and stick it in the empty net to give Riise his second assist of the game and to give us another goal towards the fight back. We keep going. We play it wide to Riise. At this point, you're thinking if we get another, it's looking good. And Riise gets a good shot away, saved by the keeps, and Brennan Johnson taps it in to make it 6-4, and it's only the 75th minute, and as you can see, he gives the ball away, and I Rabona it in with Maddison to make it 6-5, but we didn't have enough. We couldn't get the equaliser, unfortunately, despite a few close chances, and we lose 6-5. And then, with this being said, we buy David Alaba to stick at left-back. We rejig the formation. David, we can read from one of the Psalms David wrote, if we score with him. So there's a bit of a rejig there, slight upgrade, a slight formation change, and we come up against that. Another solid team with a Clivert up front. And this is what happens. Joel Linton from the corner, early doors, we're 1-0 down. However, Watkins, bit of skill, plays it into Riise, tackled, but then Watkins bundles it off the defender and buries it past the keeper to square the game up at 1-1. Now then, we spray it through on the free ball to Riise, and he gets absolutely wiped out for a red card. So at this point, we've got the man advantage. However, he goes up the other end, a man light, and with Clivert smashed it past Golaski into the back of the net to go 2-1 up. However, with that man, David Alaba, just signed fresh into the club, we eventually get it through to Llorente, bit of skill. We must cut that back. Of course we do. And James Maddison rifles it in for 44th minute, 2-2. However, Trippier chips it in to Tovan. Tovan sweat to Clivert, 3-2 lead. But we're not going to give up. We're not going to lose this game with 10 men. I read an awful pass from Pope. He tries to move the keeper and we punish him with Riise to get, I think that was his first goal for the club after a couple of assists. And we draw the game 3-3. But we're not going to finish there with that 3-3 draw. We're going to go into one more game. And this is what we came up against for the episode, the final game of the episode. Another solid team, another Haaland and another lot of Prem players. And this is what happened. Morata through on goal. I can't defend, and he smashes it past Golaski for a 1-0 lead, early doors again. However, Riise, he wants the 1-2. He doesn't quite get a 1-2, but he does get played through on goal. He runs through, and he smashes it past the keeper for another goal to his name. This man is proving to be a sensational signing as we do another 1-2 with Riise. Bombs down the line, plays it through to Watkins. Watkins cuts inside, nice composure. The defender's losing the plot all over the place. Panic, panic, panic. We stay calm. Ball roll, finish, goal, 2-1 lead. And then down the line with Llorente we go. We see that man, John Arne Riise, back stick, and he does a swivelling bicycle kick into the back of the net for 3-1. The guy pauses it. He didn't quit at that point, but a few minutes later, he did go on to quit. So we get a 3-1 win, a lovely way to end the episode of the FIFA section. But more importantly, we're now going to head into the Bible passage with some of those options ready to work with. And we're going to go into that now. Okay, so into the Bible passage, and we're going to go with a bicycle kick that we scored with John Arisa in the 32nd minute, and therefore turn to John chapter 3 in relation to goal time. And this is what it says. There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. So a Pharisee had been one of the teachers of the law, a ruler of the Jews, he's described here. And then going into verse 2, which links to the John Arisa goal, it says, this man came to Jesus by night and said to him, Rabbi, we know that you are a teacher come from God, for no one can do the signs that you do unless God is with him. So this teacher of the law has seen Jesus do some signs and wonders in the Bible up to this point, and is like, well, you must be from God, because there's no way you could do these things otherwise. And this is one of the beauties of Jesus. He didn't just come into the world and preach a load of stuff and tell people, like, you know, some good teachings and that he was the Son of God, but didn't back it up with any evidence. No, he backed it up with loads of evidence. His whole ministry was full of miracles and signs and wonders and bringing healing and wholeness and transformation to people's lives. He backed it up throughout his life until ultimately death on a cross, where he rose from the dead, which, you know, no one else has been able to do other than Jesus, in a way that is, yeah, supernatural. I mean, Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead, and there's people that have been, you know, allegedly raised from death in this life, you know, by praying to God and stuff like that. But no one's ever been dead for sort of multiple days and risen from the dead off their own accord. Jesus was the only one that's done that, and, you know, proved throughout his life that he really was the Son of God and was who he claimed to be. And I want to encourage you, you know, if there's even an ounce of you watching this video today, if you don't have a faith and you're thinking, there's part of me that thinks there is some supernatural stuff out there, I think there might be a God, or there's something spiritual going on in the world. There's certain things that happen that I can't explain without there being some kind of supernatural force, some kind of God. I want to encourage you, you've got to look into this. If God is real, it changes everything, and you need to take him seriously. You know, Christians throughout the world today are realising, no, God really is real. You know, this Jesus that did all these things throughout the Bible, they're experiencing God working in their lives today. I've experienced loads of God's miracles and testimonies in my life, his presence filling my life in a way that I cannot put down to just coincidence or just me making up emotions. Like, I've experienced the reality of God in my life many, many ways, and so have millions of Christians around the world. It's why it's one of the most diverse faiths, I think, because there's a real God throughout the world. He's not just a, you know, it's not just a cultural religion. It's a religion based on a relationship with God, full of a God that's actively doing stuff today. So I want to encourage you, if you even have a small bit of faith today watching this, please, you know, I want to encourage you to seek the Christian faith more, explore the Christian faith more, look into it, ask God to help him to reveal himself to you. Because, yeah, if he's real, it changes everything, and you need to get to know him. It's not just enough to go through life thinking, you know, maybe I've done, you know, more good than bad things in my life, I've gone to church here and there, like maybe that's enough to save me if there is a God. No, the verse goes on to say that you have to be born again. Otherwise, you won't be able to see the kingdom of God. Being born again means giving your life to Jesus, accepting his forgiveness, believing he died on a cross for you and rose from the dead. You need to give your life to Jesus, and that means, you know, giving your life to him. James 4 verse 4, linked to the James Madison 44th minute goal, says you can't be friends with both God and the world. You know, you can't do this thing, like I said, where, you know, you're like, well, I'll do a lot of things in the world that I want to do, and I'll go to church here and there, and I'll, you know, do some good things in my life, and surely that will cover me if there's a God. It's like, no. You need to give your whole life to Jesus. You need to give your heart to Jesus. You need to put your faith in him, believe he died on a cross, rose from the dead to forgive you from your sins. You can't earn your way into heaven. Jesus came down into the earth to earn it for us by living a perfect life on our behalf. It's a free gift, but you need to accept it. You need to give your life to Jesus, and he'll help you to live a life that responds to the wonderful thing he's done for you. And I pray that, yeah, today, if you don't know him, you might even have that ounce of, yeah, exploring this a bit further. And I pray that God reveals himself to you in a way that you know, this God's real, he loves me, he cares about me, and I'm going to give my life to this, because, like I said on the last video, there is no meaning and purpose in life really when you think about it without God, but with God there is. And I want to encourage you, he's real, he loves you, the Bible encourages us that he is, and, you know, if you give your life to him, you can experience the reality of God in your life as well. So that's the encouragement for today. I hope you found it helpful, and I look forward to catching you all on the next one.